Unbelievable.
It really is, and a lot of them also put in shelters, as we saw from Sarah Stewart's report. So that is good in one respect, because they, from the last storm in '99, they learned about getting underground as quickly as they could, Mike. But sometimes, as the one gentleman was talking about, the wind was moving the lever up and down. They were having to hold the door down with 3 people.
Yeah,
on a shelter.
A very good point. There are a lot of folks in Moore that have safe rooms as well. No doubt they're in those safe rooms. On the tragic side of all of this, May 3rd school was out again. Today school was in. So think of obviously the hundreds of parents, thousands of parents that were frozen in place with less lead time compared to May 3rd because their kids are in school. And that is the most tragic difference between 1999 and what happened this afternoon.
And more schools sent out a message to parents at 2:45, which I have in my hand, in which they said, we're currently holding all students until the current storm danger is over. Students are being released to parents only at this time. We will notify you by the same method when student release begins. So those parents unable to pick up their children in the Moore schools may have been some of those affected by the 2 elementary schools that were destroyed in Moore, Oklahoma.
Let's go to Jesse Wells on the ground for us. Jesse is near, I believe he's near Plaza Tower School. Jesse?
Kevin, again, we're here at the corner of Southwest 11th and Eagle, right again here in front of, again, the Plaza Towers Elementary. We've been talking a lot about that elementary school and the potential casualties that may have taken place inside that elementary school. But again, it's not just the school. The homes all in this area have been completely wiped out. With me now is one of the people that rode the storm out. First off, Elizabeth, again, explain basically what happened here today.
All I know is I was heading to work to the Norman VA Center, and the sirens were going off, and I went ahead and pulled over on the highway because I heard it was starting to get really bad. And so I decided to turn around because I knew that my dog, Ginger, was at home, and I just didn't want any bad things to happen to her. So I got home. I was actually speeding on the highway. Any cops can give me tickets, I don't care. But I was actually speeding on the highway just to get home to her. And the twister was actually behind Kohl's. This way, I could actually see it. I could hear it roaring and everything. It's my first time ever actually seeing a tornado. I was scared to death. I got in the house. The alarm went off. I ran in the house, threw my purse down. I called the dog. The windows started busting through. The twister was just right there. I could hear it. And I said, oh, no, you're not. You're not going to get me. And I got the dog, ran in there to the bathtub, threw the pillows in the bathtub. And I said, come on, Ginger. Got her. All I remember is hitting my head and trying to get into the bathtub, and I got picked it up, threw down to the ground, and all I can remember after I hit my head, I was landing on top of the dog, and I could hear her just whimpering, and I just cannot believe that we actually survived this thing. So. And
obviously you suffered some injuries to the. What kind of injuries did you suffer, I guess, or it sounds like
you're
okay.
Well, I'm about to actually go to the hospital. They think I may have a small concussion on my head, so. I mean, risking my life for an animal, I think I don't have a problem doing it because I'm an animal person. But to people out there, whenever you have storms and stuff going on, make sure you have your animals with you because they can't take care of themselves. They need us. And I'm just very thankful that I'm alive because I don't think I'm crazy for rescuing her.
Now, you obviously live down here. Your home completely destroyed, it sounds like. What's going through your mind right now as you look at your home, all the homes, the school here behind us, completely destroyed? I mean, what's going through your mind?
I feel like I'm in a dream. That's all I can say. I just can't believe that it's actually happened.
All right. Well, at least you saved yourself and your dog, Ginger.
Yes.
Seems to be okay. Mm-hmm. May have got a little banged up, getting tossed around as well. But again, I appreciate your time. Thanks very much, Elizabeth.
No problem.
Nice to meet you. Take care. Again, the story out here, again, absolutely devastation. All the homes around us completely leveled. Again, you heard from Elizabeth, came home to rescue her dog successfully. This is one of the good stories. Unfortunately, here at Plaza Towers Elementary, we may not have as many good stories. If I can step out of the shot here, I'm sorry, sir, and go in again to the school. Again, you can see that rescue operations continue here in the front of this school. As Lance said, there may be potentially dozens of casualties here at the school. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. But again, just an absolutely indescribable scene from down here. We'll continue to cover it and have more in the next few minutes. Back to you guys.
Jesse, thanks.
We should say that that is no longer a search and recovery effort at the school. They have, I'm sorry.
Not search and rescue, it's a search and recovery.
Right.
Yeah,
So
at this point.
search efforts are over.
Yeah, and we do believe, as Lance West told us, could be as many as 24 little ones that are fatalities there. It's awful.
John Welsh remains in Chopper 4. You have been up there for many hours now as you followed that storm into Moore and as you have followed the rescue efforts that are taking place. And as we've said before, the problem is time is running out. It's about to get dark in another 2 hours or less, and at that point, things come to a halt in many respects.
Yeah, Linda, the rescue effort here, as soon as the sun goes down, is going to almost come to a screeching halt. What they'll be able to do is they're going to be able to bring some fire trucks and use their lights. They have some police cars. They'll be able to use spotlights. I'm sure that they're scouring the area and getting all these rental lights that they can that run on generators to help this effort here. We're still showing you the school and where the people are still trapped. We're unsure of their condition, as we've already talked about moments ago, but this is really the main recovery effort. We've kind of panned throughout the neighborhood, and there's several people that are still rummaging through their stuff, and like Chuck talked about, that we do see a lot of people up here that are just kind of dazed. You know, I don't want to say they're just not awestruck, but they're just, I mean, they've lost everything. And anytime you go through some kind of a traumatic event like this, you're definitely going to have some post-traumatic stress syndromes and stuff that are going to hang on. And they might not show themselves today, but you know, that's something else that we're going to have to deal with. Not only, hey, you lost your house, you hopefully didn't lose a loved one. If you did, you did. But now, especially for these little kids that were in this school, they're going to have some stress issues. When we lived in Alabama, that high school got hit there, Enterprise, and they had counselors on scene the next day, and they even moved some kids to different schools just because of the stress that these little guys, these children are under and were under. You know, they're going to bring back memories, and you know, it's just something that could permanently scar these kids from that we're not seeing just by the damage that we're showing you from the pictures. But again, you know, here we're still staying on this school. We're hopefully they'll bring out some people, and we're not in the condition that they are. However, it's not looking good. Just one thing to bring you, that fire that we saw earlier, it's burned itself out. Crews were never even able to finish putting it out. But the sun's starting to set. We'll probably have about 2 more hours. Hopefully they have dogs. We saw that they brought a Kubota little tractor there, and they've got some other equipment on the school that they're starting to pull some more debris with. So I think the sense of urgency is kind of setting in for a lot of people that, hey, we're running out of time, and we need to get this thing, you know, start getting stuff looked in here.
John, I know you don't have a monitor on board the chopper, but you're on a great shot right now. Travis Sutton, our photojournalist, is of the efforts being made at Plaza Tower Elementary. And what has changed for those of you just now joining us, if you'll notice, the fire department personnel in the back there are now in more of a line, and they're picking up debris and moving it away as they work layer by layer, trying to find some of the victims who may have been in that school. We're led to believe that as many as 24 children may still be in that debris. It's no longer a search and rescue effort, but a search and recovery effort.
Let's go to Paula Price, who's joining us on the phone right now from Norman Regional. And Paula, I know that you have a situation there, not only taking care of folks who may be coming in injured, but you've got a little one there, and you're trying to contact parents.
We do. We have a 9-year-old girl at our Healthplex Hospital. Her name is Kaylee Hawkins, and she was at one of the elementary schools that was damaged. She's doing okay, but her parents are not with her, so we are asking if anyone knows her parents, Kaylee Hawkins, to call 307-2713.
And she was from Moore. She was in one of the schools at Moore, correct?
That's correct,
okay.
Yes.
And Paula, do you know how she was transported to your facility? Did someone find her outside of the school, or was she pulled from the school? Do you have any of that information?
I'm not totally certain, but I believe she was came through our emergency room, so I'm not quite sure if that was an ambulance or was brought by a private vehicle.
Okay.
I don't have that information.
An approximate age, did you say her age?
9 years old.
Okay.
9 years old. Yeah.
9 years old.
And her name is Kaylee Hawkins.
That's correct, Kaylee Hawkins.
So if any of her relatives are listening right now, Kaylee is at Norman Regional, and Norman Regional is on Main Street
Well,
in Norman,
actually,
right?
I'm sorry. It's at the Healthplex Hospital, which is right off of I-35 and Tecumseh Road.
I-35 and Tecumseh.
Tecumseh, yes.
Okay, very good.
And they can call the number that you gave us or simply show up and...
That's true. Either
Right.
way, show up or call the number that we've provided.
Or you can call us here at the station at Channel
Yes.
4, and we'll get you guys together. All right, little one, as you can imagine, very upset right now and wanting Mom and Dad to be there, and we'll endeavor to make that happen.
9-year-old Kaylee Hawkins at Norman Regional, looking for her parents or loved ones.
Thank you, Paula. Mike Morgan.
Kevin, we have a little weather here in the metro we want to talk about. This storm has gone up pretty quickly. It is severe. Quarter-size hail over in Nichols Hills, and a warning now for Oklahoma County. Logan County, I think, is probably out of it, but over into Lincoln County. So Oklahoma-Lincoln County, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Storm southwest of Atoka has a tornado warning on it. We have a few folks that watch us on cable down here in southeastern Oklahoma. Let's go to the storm tracker and take a look at where these are. And here's the supercell southwest of Atoka area, just a little after 7:40 p.m. this evening is when that will be arriving. That is a supercell with a pretty strong area of circulation just now coming into southwestern Atoka County out of Johnston County down in southeastern Oklahoma. Real heavy rain and hail, big hail, I-35 from Ardmore southbound through Lake Murray down to Marietta right now. So this is the squall line. They've found quite a bit of debris. There's been debris found up in the Tulsa metro area from Moore over the past couple of hours. So that debris has been carried aloft into northeastern Oklahoma. That storm that hit Moore is now over by Tahlequah and now about ready to head into Arkansas with tornado warnings continuing on that. Let's go to the North Doppler. We'll zoom into Oklahoma City. And this storm is severe, quarter-size hail. It is now passing the Broadway extension between the Broadway and I-35 on I-44. I-44, Broadway extension, I-35, including the zoo up toward Lake Aluma and Forest Park, just southeast of the Kfor studios here. There's Frontier City FC, and there's the zoo, and there's Spencer. Quarter-size hail with this. Towers are trailing back to about Oklahoma City University. Might be some small hail just north of downtown Oklahoma City, just north of the Capitol there by about a half a mile or so. That is moving to the east-northeast at 35. Hail right now, quarter-size, and it is severe. Kevin and Linda?
All right, Mike, we appreciate that update. We'll come back to Mike if things get any worse here in the metro with that weather system.
Lance West has been doing a wonderful job of reporting on a very emotional and horrific situation in Moore, Oklahoma, as the efforts continue to find at least 24 children who still may be inside an elementary school that was destroyed in Moore. Lance?
Well, I'm a reporter, but I'm also human, and I bring you this news with a heavy heart. The Midwest City Fire Department Search and Rescue pulled out their entire team, swollen, tear-filled eyes. There don't appear to be any more survivors in that school. I was told by an official about 5 minutes ago that they have recovered 7 children. They were at the bottom of the school in a pool of water. They all drowned. And I'm told that anywhere between 20 and 30 more kids may still be inside. They've got jackhammers breaking through concrete, trying to reach the bodies, but it does not appear that there are any survivors inside the school. And again, it is with a heavy heart that I bring you this news. Also, there was a search effort at a couple of houses down behind me, about a quarter mile. They have abandoned those searches as well. The cries for help have stopped about 15 minutes ago. So I would suspect that the casualty number is going to climb throughout the evening, and we probably have another hour, maybe hour and a half of sunlight, so they're doing everything they can to put an end to an extremely difficult situation out here tonight.
It's excruciating for everybody involved, and especially the parents. Lance, have they moved the parents to some central location so that they can tell them what has happened or prepare them for what might be the worst news they're ever going to receive?
Yes, there is a staging area at a church about a mile to our south. That's where a lot of the kids and the parents have congregated. I suspect that there are emergency personnel delivering the news. There were some parents out here earlier just screaming hysterical, as you might expect. They have since been taken away to another area. And I understand that there's going to be a news conference, I believe at 7:30 tonight at Moore City Hall, they'll deliver more of the facts and figures as to what's happened out here today. But again, we do know 7 children, the bodies have been found. They drowned in the bottom of the school, and they're still looking for 20 to 30 more tonight.
Lance, when you say Midwest City Search and Rescue pulled back, have they left the scene, or are they simply... what we're seeing right now, I know that you can't see it, is a live picture of the scene. We're seeing the yellow tape that they put up around the school. We're seeing a long line of yellow uniformed firefighters and rescue personnel who seem to be moving debris away piece by piece. Now, there appear, if I'm counting them right, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 2 dozen at the most on the scene. Will that effort just continue throughout the evening?
I suspect so. It's almost sort of a convoy assembly line, if you will, as they remove that debris down the line to try to reach the victims at the bottom of the rubble. Midwest City, one of the many agencies out here donating their search and rescue efforts to this cause, but they have pulled out their team. Still a lot of others out here. Newcastle Fire and Rescue has just pulled up. I see Midwest City Ambulance. EMSA is here, obviously. Oklahoma City, more, just jurisdictions all over the metro here trying to lend a hand.
All right, Lance, we appreciate your report very much. We just hate what you had to say. Ghastly report coming from that school. 7 children drowned at the bottom of a school. They think there could be as many as 20 or 30 more little victims in there as they continue to search for those bodies.
All afternoon we have been reporting on the storm that moved through Moore, Oklahoma. It was a horrific storm. It was deadly. It was devastating. 20 miles on the ground, 2¼ miles in width as it moved through sections of Moore. 30 square miles of devastation.
Incredible. There's that website.
Look for people who are trying to connect with one another. If you've tried to call into the area, you know your phone calls are not being answered. Cell phone coverage is sparse at best. The Red Cross and others have set up this website, www.safeandwell.org. They're attempting to use that as a way where you can confirm the safety and well-being of those you love. So if you know somebody in that area, that's the website to check.
And if you are one of those people who were in the area and you saw that, go ahead and log on yourself and report yourself okay, so that folks can get in touch with you that way. Again, the focus of the story right now is Moore, Oklahoma, as Linda said, and you just saw the report from Lance West coming up on the 7 o'clock hour here. And it's been a long and deadly, tragic afternoon in southeast Oklahoma City in Moore.
We reported earlier, Meg Alexander was there as 4 bodies were pulled out of one area. So we know of those 4 fatalities. If Lance is confirming 7 more, then we have 11 confirmed fatalities just from our reporters on the scene.
Right.
But we'll continue to try to get, quite simply, they are not releasing official numbers until the bodies are moved to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's office, and from there the numbers will be released. But from our reporters on the scene, we know of at least 11 fatalities from this storm.
Let's go to Allie Meyer, who is also on the ground covering the situation for us. Allie, go ahead.
Kevin, Linda, we're here by the Warren Theater. As you've seen, it's just devastation here. What we're seeing a lot of is in this parking lot, vehicles that are just abandoned. In this family's vehicle, you can see 3 car seats, so one only knows what happened to them exactly. But I can tell you, during the 2-hour journey it took me to get from downtown Oklahoma City to down here in the Moore area, it is a mass exodus on foot right now. I know you guys and Mike Morgan have been talking about just how much daylight is left in the day here. Believe me, people down here in Moore are well aware of how much daylight they have left. There's not power down here, obviously. And so on the way south down into Moore from Oklahoma City, we've seen a lot of families carrying small children, elderly people carrying infants, toddlers by the hand. They are walking on foot, heading northbound. Most of them have a completely dazed look on their face. Most of them have no idea where they're going. They just know they can't stay here. It's not safe here, and they have no resources here at all. So they're heading northbound. They are assuming that either the Red Cross or Salvation Army or someone might have some resources available for them. But it's hundreds, thousands of people on foot walking northbound, having no idea where they're going. Now, there are a lot of pets in the area as well. A number of people who stopped and spoke with us recounted their stories of saving their neighbors out of a home next door, trapped in a back closet somewhere. I talked to the woman who helped identify the people in the 7-Eleven that Meg was reporting on earlier. That situation, of course, turned out so tragically. So just a real desperate situation down here. A lot of folks simply shell-shocked, having no idea where they're going to go, where they're going to spend the night, just knowing right here is not the area. You can see that the south end of the medical center here, the building is just destroyed. You know, there's not a lot of car traffic going southbound. At least it's not being allowed to go southbound, but they are still making way for first responders. We saw a lot of firefighters, police department, unfortunately a number of state medical examiners, officials, vehicles heading southbound. All the traffic northbound right now is primarily on foot. Just a lot of lost and confused people wondering where they're going to spend the night tonight. Back to you.
Almost like refugees. Bless their hearts. All right, Allie, thank you very much. And we have some weather bubbling up again here in the metro and in South Oklahoma.
Well, Mike Morgan, let's go to you. But first of all, I can't tell you how many viewers have called in and have texted me to thank you for the warning you gave them all afternoon. You kept saying if you weren't underground, you were not safe from this twister.
You know, I'll just say, Linda, that May 3rd was a great big professional learning experience. May 3rd was.
For all of us.
For all of us.
Of 1999.
In 1999. And when you see situations lining up similar to May 3rd, you can shift gears much more quickly toward what we were talking about before it was hitting more, to try to really grab people's attention and tell them what they have to do to be safe. And we know everybody did the best that they possibly could. We understand that. It is our goal to try to just communicate that as clearly and urgently as possible and not mince any words and leave any room for any ambiguity or error in that regard. And that's what we tried to do this afternoon. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Oklahoma County and for Lincoln County. Let's go to the North Doppler. This has some hail with it. It has weakened a fair amount. I think the hail's small now, dime size or so. It's now east of I-35, a little straggler back near the zoo, but dime size, I would think, might be a couple small nickels, but earlier I had quarter size in Nichols Hills, and it is weakened, but it is still severe. Spencer over to Jones, and then up the hog back up toward Luther. Going up the Turner, it is not tornadic. It is just severe. Now let's go to the storm tracker, and we do have a big storm down here heading for Atoka. That one is serious, has a tornado warning on it. Debris is still falling from the sky up in far northeastern Oklahoma as the Moore storm heads into Arkansas now. Near Bentonville is where it is right now, Bentonville, Arkansas. There's the small but severe storm with dimes, maybe a couple of nickels, just east of Frontier City, and it's a wall of water and hail and even a tornado warning down south of Lake Murray right now, which is really out of our viewing area on the Love County line. Tornado warning with that, with big hail, likely baseball size and larger. Looking at the computer data, it'll be dry after this moves by. It'll be dry tonight, but there may be a shield of rain coming in near sunrise tomorrow morning. And we're on the very edge of rain south and no rain north, right over Moore. So there may be a shield of rain coming in or very close to Moore by about sunrise or 7, 8 a.m. in the morning. And it may try to rain tomorrow morning for a fair amount of time down in Moore for the rescue and recovery effort for the folks in South Oklahoma City and the South Metro. Let's go to Mark Dillard here live. He is in damage from this terrible tornado today. Mark?
Yes, Mike, we're at Newcastle along Highway 37, and this is basically where the tornado came down and really started to do some damage over the rolling hills here right before you get to I-44. It's west of I-44, west of what the area is called the Tri-Cities area, where the Walmart and a lot of larger shopping centers are. Right there at the intersection where Newcastle and I-44 and the road that goes to Tuttle, the Tri-Cities area here in the Southwest Metro. What you're looking at on the screen is the area going to the hill where there was a lot of damage. I've got houses that have completely the roofs taken off, and one in the center that looks like it's pretty much completely down to the ground. Basically, Mike, the damage path from my vantage point is at least 100 to 150 yards wide at that point. Generally, where it really started to come down and get cranking as it was heading off the north and then took that north to the east and took that curve into Moore. Just had folks here, Troy Christensen is with me today. We just had neighbor locally here, talked to him, and she said there's power lines down over I-44, and it's basically shut down, and traffic is being diverted here along Highway 37. And the reason for that, you can't get to the lines to cut them because that would take power, understanding to the west side of the grid and Castle and on down maybe towards Tuttle. So this area, if they have power, they're going to need to keep it on for the rescue efforts that are going on. Mike, this is basically the beginning of the really, really bad